skin in the game. Yeah.
I know.
Anyhow, that's the
Sorry,
deal
I'm sorry.
with the meat.
Yeah.
I'll post the pictures and the
I apologize.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay, we ready?
Yeah.
Really, I'm sorry, I'm late. Okay, so yesterday we finished off with the Mishna, was that they give him over, they give the kohen gadol over to Ziknei Bezdin, and they say that he has to promise, he has to make a shvua that he's going to be what do you call it? He's going to make a shvua that he's going to be he's going to do what he's supposed to do. And then what they darshan the whole night, they darshan to make sure he stays up. So Zok the Gemara, Tana, Lalamdoi Chafina. One of the things that they taught him to do is how to Chafina is not kmitza. Chafina is how to take the what do you call it? The ashes, because it's a whole avoid. He's got to juggle the shovel in one hand, take the ashes and the kaimitz, and there's a lot to do. So that's yeah. So that's
ketores was a full fistful, no?
Ketores was a fistful. Here it's talking about with the ashes, right? Yeah, okay, so that's what it says. So Amar Papa, Shtei Lishkas Hayoloi the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol had two offices, no? 2 rooms. Achas, one was.
Oh, I'm sorry, what are you up to?
You test on top. You test on Aleph on top. The Gemara.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Achas Lishkas Parhedrin, but Achas Lishkas Beis of Tinas. One was a Parhedrin, one was Beis of Tinas. Achas B'tzavon, Achas B'daron. One was in the north part of the Chutzner, and one was in the south. Achas B'tzavon. How do you know that there was one in the north? The Tanan Vav Lishkas Hayu Ba'Azara. There were 6 rooms in the Azara. Gimel B'tzavon, Gimel B'daron. 3 in the north, 3 in the south. Shebadarim Lishkas HaMelach. That was the room where they kept all the salt. Lishkas HaParva, and that was the Lishkas HaParva, which we'll see what that is. Lishkas HaMadichin, and then the place where they washed the meats. Lishkas HaMelach, Shesham HaYunois the Melach LeKarban. That was where the salt for the carbon goes. Lishkas HaParva, Shesham HaYu Malchin Oires Kachim. There they did they call it? They worked on the skins of the kachim. Yeah. Val Gaga has a base of tefillah, the kohen gadol of Yom Kippur, which we're going to see later on in the Masechta. And on top of the base of parvas, where the mikvah was, with the kohen gadol, every time he switched the gadol, he had to go to the mikvah. Lishkas hamadichin, sham hayamadichin karvei kachim. The room with the madichin, with the washing room, is where they washed before they put the insides of the animals onto the mizbeach, they had to wash it, so it should be bakavedik. And from there was a round circular staircase, right, going from there to the roof of the base of Parva. Fine. Gimel Shebetzafin is Lishkas HaEitz. Yes.
I'm just thinking the mikveh was on the gag. We learned in was it Pesachim or Erevin? The second story has no kedusha. Is that why he needed Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim after he changed? When he came back down, he needed Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim again. So he's coming back into the Azara. He was outside the Azara because he was on the second floor for the mikveh. And when he came back down, he's coming back into the Azara.
Do you think he needs to wash because of that?
Maybe.
That's pretty good.
We learned that the second floor has no Kedusha, right?
That's pretty good, Gershon.
Wow, thank you.
Whether it's right or wrong, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's a good machshava, whichever it is, it's very good.
There you go. There you go. All right. Listen, if Rabaran's giving out skoma, I ain't saying nothing. Anyways, okay. No matter, I can hear the svara, but I don't know. Do we see anywhere that it's matama?
That it's matame? It's not matame.
No, he's just saying
whatever.
He's just saying you need the milah. You need the milah for the washing. That's all.
Every time a kohen leaves the azar and comes back in, he needs kiddush yadayim raglayim. It's a new avodah.
Right. I
So
hear
he's
that.
technically outside because he's upstairs. So he comes back down. He needs to
Right.
finish
But
down the line.
everybody learns his pashut because he's changing clothes. He's getting dressed and undressed. That's
Right.
how everybody learns
Right.
it. Stam. Yeah. Okay.
I hear. Okay, so let's see. So Gimel Shabbat Safan was Lishkas HaEitz, Lishkas HaGoyla, Lishkas HaGazis. Right? So Lishkas HaEitz, Amar Rebbe Loza ben Yaakov, Shechachtim HaHasim HaShemesh. It's interesting because he forgot again. This is 2-3 blot ago. He forgot 3, or was it 3 blot ago, 4 blot ago. Rebbe Loza ben Yaakov, I think it was Rebbe Loza ben Yaakov who forgot what one of the functions in the Beis Hamikdash was, and he was reminded. So Abba Shaul, Lishkas, Abba Shaul, he remembered. He said it was the Lishkas Kohen Gadol. Achure Shtein, the lishka of the kohen gadol, meaning the lishka of the wood was behind the kohen gadol's room, right? The gag shloshtan shava, and the roof of all 3 rooms was equal, and that's what it's saying. Lishkas hagoyla, what's that? Sham haya bar hagoyla. That's where the bar hagoyla was, where the bar really means the bar from Golus, right? Va'galgal nasan alav, and there was a wheel on top of the bar, and that's where they gave out all the water for the entire Zara. Lishkas HaGazis, right? What's the Gazis is where they cut stones. That's what Gazis is. Sham Haya Sanhedrin Shal Yisrael Yesheves V'Dana Kayanim. That's where the Sanhedrin sat and was dan to Kayanim. What does that mean? Umishanim to by psul, meaning they looked at the Kayanim before the Kayanim were allowed to do the avodah, so they analyzed them, right? If they find a psul, the guy would wear black and leave. And then he would leave but he wore black because it was a sad day that
From Yaakov. Yaakov.
Yeah.
Dov Lachman pointed out to me today. He says this mamish happened this week. He was with that Chaya Ra, that missionary Chaya that they found out.
Very good. Very good. I heard about that. There was a missionary they caught in Eretz Yisrael. Yeah. I was thinking more of Rob.
He said he was a kohen. He said he was a kohen on top of it.
He said he was a kohen too? I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought his stam was
No, they have to figure out what to do with all the pigeon of Benz that he did.
Oh, he did pigeon of Benz too?
Yeah, he did pigeon of
You
Benz.
serious?
He started kedushin for people. Yeah. The Pella is they knew about it in a different part of Eretz Yisrael, and he ran to this part.
I didn't hear that part. Wow.
Aaron, I thought Aaron was about
that's-
to say that.
That's also what Dave said. He said says he put on blacks. He says he put on a black hat. He moved to the other part of Israel, Paris. He put on a black hat and he became a Rav. Yeah, exactly. Like just the Gemara.
I thought you were going to say Fakeres, that it's a raya here that no one wore black. Otherwise, what's the finish?
That's true too. I mean, that's true too. Yeah.
I hear. I was going to say this is like the NFL draft. You got to sit in, you got to, mamish, they have take apart your entire life. The mamish, the entire life. I'm going to draft him. Did he ever smoke a cigarette? Did he smoke pot? Did he not? Did he do this? Did he do that? A hin and a hair and a hair, right? And then they pick and choose. You go home, Okay. Shows you, yeah. Anyways, there's another sports motion on today's daf. I don't remember what it is. If I remember when we get to it. Anyways, and if they didn't find a psul, he would wear white clothing, and he would wrap himself with white clothing, and he would work with his brothers, the kohanim. Fine, so that's what the lishkas hagazos is for. Achas bedarim. So there was a room in the south. The Tanan Shiva Sha'arim Hayu Bazar. There were 7 gates in the Azara. Gimel Batzavim, Gimel Badarim, V'Echav Mizrach. 3 on the north, 3 on the south, 1 on the east. Shebadarim Shar Hadleika. Excuse me. So in the south, there was the Shar. It was the Shar Hadleika. Right. So it's interesting. Rashi says he doesn't know pshat. He doesn't know pshat why it's called Shar Hadleika. Right, fine. Sheni loy shar ha-korban. That's the shar of the korban. And again, Rashi doesn't say pshat. Shlishi loy shar hamayim. The third one is the shar hamayim. Right. That's for what do you call it on Sukkos for the
Nisach hamayim. The Nisach hamayim.
Sheba Mizrach Shar Nikanor, and in the east side was the Shar Nikanor, right? That's what we had a few times. Ushtei lishkas hayusham, and there were two rooms there. Achas b'yamina v'achas b'shmala, one to the right of Shar Nikanor and one to the left. Achas lishkas Pinchas hamalavish. One was the room for Pinchas, the one who, the clother, the how do you call it? The army of the Beis Hamikdash. The army lock of the Beis Hamikdash, right?
Right.
V'achas lishkas oisei chavisen, and the other one was where they make the chavisen. Shebetzafan shar nitzutz, and tzafan it was the shar nitzutz that literally means the nets, like that was a way that they could see exactly what time the nets was, right? Because that they situated it so that the sun would come right in. Right, they wouldn't need that in the next Beis Hamikdash because they have all this mana from the next guys down to the second. So that I think that shar for the Bayis Shlishi Bez Hashem is not going to be necessary, right? Bini Nachsadra. Then there was also an Achsadra. That's what do we say? Achsadra was Erevin.
A portico.
Pavilion, portico, whatever. Yeah, Valia Benuya Loyal Gabav, and there was but this one had another level on top of it. And there the Kayanim were Shimrim on the top and the Levim on the bottom, because you need Kayanim a whole night to give Shmira for the Beis Hamikdash. It's covered, right? If it's a covered thing that you have Shimrim. And inside that was the Chel. That was sort of like it's like a fence. Like what do you call those type of fences? It was more
mesh.
Yeah, I'm saying, but it was like a barrier before you mamish got to the Beis Hamikdash. This was like the barrier. Sheni lo shara carbon. The second gate there was the shara carbon. Shlishi lo shara Beis Hamikdash, and the third one is the Beis Hamikdash. Right? That's that we've been learning. That's the place where the fires were. The Tanya chamish tfilos v'asar kedushin tovel kohen gadol mekadosh b'yom. Right, as we're going to learn later on, there were 5. He went to the mikveh 5 times, and he washed his hands 10 times. Right, that's what he did on Yom Kippur. V'kulam b'kodesh al gag beis haparva, and they all took place in the kodesh on top of the beis haparva. Chutz mizu, except for this one, right? The first one shows a b'chol al gabi sharamayim. That was in the chol on top of the water, the sharamayim. What do you say?
Gershon now has a good kasha. It says Kulam b'kodesh kavaldik Gershon.
Oh,
you have a big kasha now. That other Gemara said it's not kodesh. It's very good kasha. Wow.
Hey, very good. Yeah. Fine. Ubetzad lishkasoi, haisa, and that was on the side of the kohen gadol's room. V'lo yadayni lishkas parhedron b'tzafon v'lishkas beis avtinas b'darim. And I don't know if the lishkas parhedron was in the north and the lishkas of beis avtinas was in the south. Lishkas beis avtinas b'tzafon v'lishkas parhedron b'darim, or it was the Beis Hamikdash was in the north, and the lishkas parhedron was in the south. And Mustavra, now the Gemara goes through a raya that it had to be that lishkas parhedron was in the south. Mustavra lishkas parhedron b'darim havai, and it must be that the lishkas parhedron was in the south. My timer. Maktim koi umeisach is ragla v'tovel. So he would get up early, right? Shabbos, and meisach is ragla literally means he would. It's fine. Umeisach is ragla, and he would. Literally means he would cover his clothing with his feet, which means he would go to the bathroom, but tovel, and then he would tovel himself, right? That's what you do in the morning. You get up, you go to the Beis Hakisei, and then you tovel. And then he would go to the north side of the Azara, and then he would finish with the chfina with the ashes. And then he would go into the Beis Hamikdash, and he would do the avodah the whole day. And then when it became the evening, right? They would sprinkle on him the Efer Parah to make sure he's tar. Then he'd go back to the south part of the Beis Hamikdash and be toivel, and then nayach, and then he'd go to sleep. Right. So now the amrit lishkas parhedron b'tzafon. Now, if you're going to say that the lishkas parhedron, where he's going to hang out, is in the north, maktim koyu mesach raglav. So then what happens? He gets up in the morning, goes to the bathroom. Then he has to go all the way back to the south part of the Beis Hamikdash, and be tovel there, and then finish off with the ashes. Then he has to go into the Beis Hamikdash, do the whole avodah. And then in the evening they're going to sprinkle him. And then he has to go back to the south, the Tovel, and then be Tovel. Then he has to go back to the north, to his room, to the Lishkas Parhedrin in order to sleep. So that means he's making an extra round trip between the north and the south. If you say the Lishkas Parhedrin is in the south, is in the north, then he's got to make at least one extra round trip, right, before he goes back to sleep. So the Gemara says, are we going to be matriach him to walk so much back, forth, north, south, back, south, and then back to north? So it must be that the Lishkas Parhedrin is in the south. So the Gemara says, Allah Malahi, right? Why not? Right? Why Why don't we give him more tircha? To eat tziduki, he'll live fresh. Because if he's taka tziduki and he doesn't really believe, he's going to say, okay, this is too much walking for me. I'm out of here. Right? So why don't we taka, if we're trying to weed out the tzidukim, so make him walk more. Inami shaloi tezur taitelov, or that he shouldn't become a bal gaiva, that he thinks he's so chashiv, right? Because the more walking, the more hard work he does, the more humbling it is. Because if you don't say this, they should have made both the kohen, as we said, the kohen gadol has two rooms. Why don't they put them right next to each other? Right? Inami, right? Tiski lebechador. Why doesn't he just have one room? So why did they make it that he has two rooms and those two rooms are far away from each other? Must be that they want him to. It's humbling. So therefore, it's not a raya. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that means he's not a. It's a nephew. Yeah. So that's what we're saying, that it's not a raya that the Parhedrin was in the south, because maybe the Taka wanted the kohen gadol to do more work. Okay.
So this Gemara is anti like private bathrooms then.
Why, you don't think you had a private bathroom?
No, I'm trying to get one in work, but this Gemara is fakert. Like it's about gaiva if you have your own instead of walking across to use a different bathroom. No? Isn't that what a Gemara says?
No, but the bathroom was in the original place. Wherever he was originally, the bathroom was there. Then he has to walk around to the mikveh after he wakes up.
Right, they have to go to the bathroom. They have to go to mikveh after he goes to the bathroom, no?
Right, but the bathroom is where he slept.
I understand, but if they would put a bathroom or a mikveh where he was.
Well, that's good for the Gemara's raya. That you see, why didn't they just make him a convenient one room to have everything? Wasn't he two locked rooms? I guess to call it that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know if it meant that he has a public bathroom. I don't know if that's what it means.
I hear.
I don't know if it's public or it's private. I would think it was private, but I don't know. Okay,
it's just a right that the kohen gadol's not a rebbe. That's what it's a right.
I guess, yeah. or not Rav Hutner. Yeah. Okay. So V'amrulei Ishi Kohen Gadol. Oh, we'll wait for the horn. Hold on. That's a tki gadola right there. V'amrulei Ishi Kohen Gadol, and it said, our man was the chashav Kohen Gadol. Lema tavet yufta the Rav Huna Brei the Rav Yeshua. This is a shtick of Lamda Gemara that it puts in here. Let's say that it's a kashan of Huna Brei Yeshua. Damar Rav Huna Brei Yeshua. Hani kehani. Shliu the Rachmana ninu. I'm sorry. We're asking a question, but he said a statement. Right? Rav Huna Brei Yeshua said that the kehanim are considered shluchim of the Torah of Hashem. Meaning, is the kohen our shliach, Klal Yisrael shliach, or is he Hashem's shliach? What's a negeya? Right? If he's our shliach, let's say somebody makes a neder not to be nene from a kohen gadol. Can he be nene from him with his karbonos? If he's working for Hashem, he could be nene from him. The shlichus has nothing to do with him, right? So that's the shaila. So he says. So therefore, he says the shliach of Hashem. If you say that he's our shliach, right? Could it be that a shliach can only do what the person sending him is allowed to do? Right? How could a kohen be a shliach for us? Right? We're not allowed to do the avodah. So how could he be our shliach to do something? Elamai must be the shliach of the Rabbeinu Shalom, right? So, because they said, and now how do we know that? Meaning, it's a kasha because our Mishnah says you're our shliach, right? You're our shliach. So that sounds like he's Klal Yisrael shliach, not Hashem shliach. And here, Rav Huna Breit Rav Yeshua said that he's Hashem's shliach, right? So that's a kasha, right? Let's just do this. Okay, go ahead. What are you saying?
This kasha means officially you can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. I didn't know how to do mila, but I was able to have a shliach to do the mila.
But at least you had the yechilas to do it.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Yeah,
it means
that's a better way. Thank you. That's a better way of saying it. You have the yechilas to do it. You can't make somebody a shliach to do something that you're not allowed to do, right? Yeah. So anyway, so that's what the Gemara. So our Mishnah says that the Zakanim are telling him you're our shliach. What do you mean you're our shliach? You're not our shliach. You're Hashem's shliach according to this Gemara. So Gemara answers no hachi karmalei mashpian anu alecha al datenu val das bezdin. We're making you have a shvua on our das and on the das of bezdin. Fine. Okay. So then who parish?
Do we pass him like that?
What? That he's
that he's not the shliach of Klal Yisrael.
I think we.
In Hineni, you say in Yom Kippur Shana, Alai Val Sholchai, right?
Right.
I mean, it's your tefillah. So you are saying that you're the what? Yeah, but that's the job of the chazan. It's the kohen gadol's to avoid it.
Yeah. The Ma'aseh, the Rambam paskins like the Gemara that he's a shliach of the Rabbeinu Shalom. The Kohanim of the shliach of the Rabbeinu Shalom, not Klal Yisrael. Yeah. Okay. So who parish Rabbeinu behein parshin Rabbeinu? So he separates and cries, and they separate and cry. Who parish Rabbeinu? Right. He cries shechashdu tziduki because they were chayshed that he's a tziduki. Behein parshin Rabbeinu, and they go away and cry. Anybody who's chayshed b'ksherim will get makas on his body, right? That was that whole Gemara in Shabbos where Moshe Rabbeinu got the tzaras. Yeah. So that was right. So you can't be chayshed b'ksherim to anybody. B'chol kach lama, right? So what did they need this whole thing for, right? Why did they make him have to make a shvua? Shelo yisakan mibechutz b'yachnis kederach shatzukan oisin, so that he shouldn't fix the tzidukim held. We had this once before. The tzidukim held. The way the kohen gadol does it is he brings in the ashes on the shovel, which is what we said in the beginning of the daf. The chafiyah. That's what they said. It's the avodah kosher shebamikdash. He's got to carry in an ashes shovel and the ketores. Then he's got to put it down, put the ketores on it. That's the way we held to do it. The tzedukim held no. You put the ketores onto the eish outside the kodesh hakadoshim, and then you bring it in, right? So they want to make sure that this guy swears that he's not going to do that. That he shouldn't be misakin on the outside and bring it in. Kederach shat tzedukim oisin. That's the way the tzedukim did it. So Tana Rabbanan, ma'asav tzeduki echad sheiskin b'chutz v'hichnis. He was misakin it on the outside. He did it like the tzedukim, and he brought it inside, and he was successful. And he made it out alive, right? So when he left, he was very happy. His father met him. I don't know what to make of this Gemara here. Even though we're tzedukim, we're still afraid of the perushim of the fruma, right? So Amar Loi, Kol Yama. So his kid told him back, Kol Yama. I had pain because of this pasuk because I wanted to show that we darshan the pasuk the proper way, which is against the fruma. So because it says that he's gonna be seen in a cloud on the kapyrus, on the cover of the Aron. Amarti Masa Yavi Liyadi V'Kamen, and I said that when is it going to come my opportunity to my hand that I'll be able to be mekayim it the way to tzedukim? Now that I have the opportunity, I shouldn't be mekayim it. So why are you telling me not to do it? So Amru, they said, it wasn't too many days where this kohen died and he was put into the garbage. And the worms were coming out of his nose. right? Rashi, interesting Rashi here. Oh, this is my football muscle again. It's terrible, but Rashi says, why did the worms come out of his nose? Because the nose is the first part of the body to go into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, Shalai Kedin, right? The nose sticks out from the body, right? So that's what I'm saying. When the guy's trying to score a touchdown, you're trying to figure out if he crosses the plane, right? That's what his nose is good. But again, you have the helmet, so I don't know what the din is with a helmet. But the point is that Rashi's saying that his nose was the first thing in. So that's why he got punished by the nose.
You have a real Yiddish
so
back with a giant nose.
Yeah, right. But then the other said, if he didn't get punished, he didn't get punished later. He got punished on his way out. The Tani Rabbiya came in call Nishma Baz. What?
Maybe a person starts to walk down with modesty, looking downward, and maybe he walked in an arrogant way.
I mean, that's his nose. Okay, Rashi didn't say that.
You
but
walk with
maybe
your head
if he
down a
wouldn't
little
have,
bit, you may not, whatever. Okay, I'm just...
Right, now I hear that. So anyway, so Kamin Kol Nishma Bazar, the other version of what happened is that when he came out of the Azar, there was a voice heard. Shabbat Malach the Chavtei al Panav, a Malach came and knocked him on his face. And his brothers of Kahanim came and Matzu Kikaf Regel Ogal Bein Egel Bein Kseifa. They found a foot mark, a round foot mark on his shoulders, right? So that must be the footprints of a malach. Shenemar ragleim regel yishara, the kaf ragleim kaf regel egel. Their feet they're very straight, which is why we put our feet together by shemona esrei and by right. So it's referring to a malach here, right? And it's like rounded. The foot is rounded, so it must have been that the malach went and walloped him. So I don't understand. So there was respect from the tzidukim, right? I'm saying this is what we hold, but he's telling his son not to do it. So then what's the point of holding it, right? So I don't know. I don't know enough.
I've encountered Reform rabbis who, when push came to shove, they went with the Orthodox sheet. I've encountered a person.
No, but this is that they disagreed how it's supposed to be done. Yeah.
What time is left?
Sheesh, man. What? Let's bench it another 5-7 minutes. Somebody took a flight from 4 o'clock. They were supposed to take off at 11 this morning. They took off at 4. They haven't let them off the plane yet in Newark. They landed a half hour ago. Whatever. It's crazy. Okay. Amar Reb Zcharia ben Kavutel. Yeah, well,
you better get the phone number of Chabad of Newark.
Yeah, I told them. I said before they got on the plane, they were doing it anyways. So you said, you just realize if you're not going to get off the plane, you're going to spend the Shabbos in a hotel. You're not whatever. Anyways, hopefully it'll be all right. Okay. Amar Reb Zcharia ben Kavutel. Masni lo Rav Chanan bar Rav L'chia bar Rav kamei de Rav. Amar Reb Zcharia ben Kavutel. Right. He said, Rav Zcharia ben Kavutel said, "Omachvile Rav b'yadei Kavutel," and Rav made a sign with his hand that it should be pronounced Kavutel. So why is he making signs with his hand? Why didn't he tell him that? So we say Kriya Shema Havakari. No, because he was in the middle of saying Kriya Shema, so he couldn't talk. So he made a sign with his hands. Is it mutter to make a sign with the hands in Kriya Shema? If you're reading Shema, you're not allowed to even make with your eyes. And you can't make with your mouth. And you can't also make a sign with your hands. If you do any of these things by Kriya Shema, Allah of Yaakov, you did not call me, you did not call out to me, Yaakov, meaning Yaakov, you didn't call out to me, meaning you're supposed to be reading Shema, being Mekabel Shemayim, and all that, and you're busy making with your eyes and your hands, right? Like Kasha, have a perik Rishon, have a perik Sheni. One is talking about in the Shema, and one is talking about in the second perik, right? Shema and then V'hayim Shemaya. So in the second perik is more makel than the first perik. Yes, but even though the Maisa, you're not supposed to make any sort of signaling anytime you make a bracha. Birchas Hamazon, I find, is the hardest time not to make, people are talking and somebody says episode day, right when you start a Birchas Hamazon, you got to make sure to let them know, new, and then right. So it's not ma'akev, but
it's funny because the Shulchan Aruch is very maked on Birchas Hamazon.
Yeah.
Very stark.
But Shema might be ma'akev. That's the thing, right? Shema, the first parak Shema might actually be ma'akev. Fine. Torah ודברת bum. Right? And you should, in Shema it says you should speak of them. Bum, v'loi b'tefillah. Right? You should speak of the Torah, but not when you're davening. Right? Meaning you should say it out loud. Rashi says you say Shema out loud, but by tefillah, you don't say it out loud. Right? Tefillah's got to be quieter. But it has to have episode sound to it, but not as loud as Shema. Right? You're allowed to speak in Torah, but you're not allowed to speak about other things. Right? Meaning Bechlal, you shouldn't do that. Rabbi Acha Omer v'dibarta bam asay oisay keva v'al tasa aray. You should make it keva. Torah should be a kvias. Baruch Hashem is what we're doing now, right? And it should not be done in a raidika thing. It shouldn't be done temporary. So Amarava, Hasach sichas chulin. Anybody who speaks a sichas chulin, Oiver ba'asay is Oiver on the mitzvah asay. Yeah, shenemar v'dibarta bam. On a day like today with the tzara that we had, and all the sichas chulin that happens because of it is a disaster, right? It's all whatever. We're not going down that road, right? Shenemar v'dibarta bam. So you could be over on mitzvah say, saying sichas chulin. Bam v'loy b'dvarim acherim. Speak of them of Torah, but don't speak about anything else. Rav Acha bar Yaakov Amar over belav. You're over not over on the essay. You're over on a lav. Shenemar kol hadvarim yigayim. Everything you should anything that's tiring. La yuchal ish l'daber. You shouldn't speak. Meaning that wipes you out. Meaning you have all sorts of conversations, right? Well, Rashi says it more as ein loy reshus. You have no reshus to talk stupidity. You have no reshus, right? But so there's some say it's a mitzvah say, some say it's a mitzvah loisa say, right? But I think that it's more. We got to check it up in Reish Mem Vav in Talmud Torah. I'll check it up.
Wouldn't it be midivrei seifrim anyway?
Motzei Shabbos.
I don't know what time is the shkia is 5. It's 02. What time is Shabbos over? 72 is 02.
I don't know. 9:24 is what's the Shabbos here. 60.
Okay, so Shine, we'll call it for 9:20, but we'll call it
9:20. Yeah,
9:20, but 9:24, whatever. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Shabbos, we should have
Good Shabbos.
Thank you.
Amen.
Yeah.
All right.
Shabbos.
This Esther is midivrei seifrim. How is he learning a loisa say from the Ksuvim?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I don't know.
This will be the Rambam's divrei seifrim. Higher than a drabanan, lower than a deraisa.
Mistama means it doesn't mean that it's an actual deraisa. That's what they probably say.
This is one of the Rambam's midivrei seifrim. It's in between the deraisa and the drabanan.
Yeah.
All right, Tashikayach, have a good Shabbos.
Okay, good Shabbos.
Now, can you just move this so it doesn't break the glass of my flames?